Good day, everyone. From the beginning of the lab experiment, I've learned a lot for sure. I've learned a lot about yeast and how you manipulate the yeast and various techniques you use to manipulate yeast in a laboratory environment. The lab is based on genetics and Mendel's genetics laws and principles. And basically, from the get-go, I got to see the practicality of Mendelian experiment and principles. For example, I've known for a while about the Mendel pea plant experiment, but I've never seen it in front of my eyes and the capabilities of doing the experiment. I've never seen it visualized, and this lab provided me by a means of doing so. So from the get-go, with using various yeast manipulation, plating techniques, we developed experiment to mirror Mendel's monohybrid and dihybrid experiments, as well as the suppressor experiment. One thing I never knew before the lab was that the yeast exists in both a haploid and a diploid form, both that is viable and can be used and can be manipulated. This is a key feature of yeast, and other cells do not have such a nature, and this makes yeast very important and very in a laboratory environment. What I did realize throughout the lab is that Mendelian principles are indeed true for sure, because both my monohybrid and dihybrid crosses yielded generational yeast that was in the 9:3:1 and 3:1 ratios. So this showed me actual proof that Mendelian principle is true, and the assortment of various genes, as well as the assortment of various genes, is actually a true principle. Throughout the lab, I've learned a lot of yeast splitting techniques. For example, yeast tricking, patching, and replica plating, and all those things. And this thing it doesn't have to be used only in the realm of the yeast, in the realm of this experiment, but it could be done for any other microbes and microorganisms, and that could be very pivotal in my future as I develop as a scientist, as a researcher. On part of the exam, for the limitations of the experiment and the course, is that the language barrier was extremely difficult for me. I understand most of the practical work and the reasoning for the practical work, but attaching the theoretical aspect to it was a bit difficult due to the language barrier. But all in all, I think the lab was a very encompassing it was a very encompassing course. Without the language barrier, I think it would have been very extremely beneficial, but nonetheless, it was extremely beneficial to me. And I think that it's a very good hands on experiment. I thank you.